back to our show.
When you eat food, it's broken down, absorbed into your bloodstream, and used as energy by your body. But it doesn't always happen that way if you're suffering from a disease called diabetes. I recently got an email about 9-year-old Zachary Ullman. He has diabetes. So does 13-year-old Sean Clatterbuck. We don't know what causes diabetes, and we don't know how to cure it. But we do know that with the right kind of treatment, being a kid with diabetes is a lot like being a kid without diabetes. Just ask Sean and Zach. Here are their stories.
My name is Sean Clatterbuck. I'm 13 years old and I live in Richmond, Virginia. I was diagnosed with diabetes 3.5 years ago and I was 10 years old at the time.
You can get it at any age. I got diabetes when I was 1 year and 3 months. That's 15 months. My name is Zachary Ullman. I'm 9 years old and I live in Boca Raton, Florida.
When I first found out that I had diabetes, I was real shocked. And actually I was kind of relieved too because I also had an explanation for all the symptoms. That was pretty cool.
All right, big breath, please. The signs are that they get very thirsty and they start going to the bathroom a lot and they can start losing weight and feeling very, very tired. It can be very serious if it's not treated. My name is Robin Nemery and I'm a pediatric endocrinologist, which is a doctor that takes care of children with diabetes.
It's not a disease like flu, which you can catch by going near someone. It's your body which causes it.
When we're born, some of us have the possibility of developing diabetes. It's in our genes, and we're not exactly sure what makes that process start to happen.
Diabetes is this disease you get when your pancreas stops making insulin.
People need insulin because it helps keep the blood sugar under control.
Blood sugar comes from digested foods such as bread or potatoes or fruit or milk. And when those foods are broken down into sugar, it's absorbed into the blood, and that's what blood sugar is. So that insulin helps the body use that sugar that we get from food to convert it into energy. When somebody has diabetes and their body can't make insulin, the sugar goes into the blood and then it just stays there.
I'm supposed to stay away from real sugary foods because my blood sugar will rise too high.
I can't eat chocolate bars, I can't have regular soda. My name is Christina. Some people call me Tina, but I don't care. I'm 8 years old and I live in Florida.
And the other thing is she might have to start doing shots at school at noontime.
Diabetes isn't curable, but it is treatable with insulin. I need to take a shot of insulin at breakfast, at dinner, and at snack time at night.
If I hit myself in a bad spot, it hurts. If I don't, I'm fine. It doesn't hurt.
Either way, I'm always worried about if it's going to hurt or not.
I just have to look at your tummy. Let's see how that stomach's holding up over there. At about the age of 7, he found out that rather than getting shots, he could wear this insulin pump. My name is Ellen Ullman, and I'm Zachary's mom. That's his little infusion set there. That's where the insulin goes in. The insulin pump is like a small computer that has a little tube full of insulin in it. It delivers the insulin almost like a steady stream.
The pump for insulin, which I take by using these two buttons, goes in about, I think, every 3 minutes. Into one of these waffles.
Write down the carbohydrates.
They have to remember to give themselves extra insulin when they're going to eat something by pushing the button. Being on the pump, Zachary's blood sugars are much more even and much closer to a person that does not have diabetes.
I need to test my blood sugar 4 times a day. I prick my finger and the little test strip draws up the blood.
You have to test more on the pump. I test my blood sugar about every 2 to 4 hours. The problem with testing your blood sugar is you get calluses. The only finger which doesn't have calluses is my thumb.
Now I've been starting to do the bottom here, and it hurts. When I test, I have to know how much I'm at to see what kinds of foods I can eat.
My blood sugar is usually supposed to be from 80 to 180. However, 80 to 120 is really good.
It was low, that's right.
When it's way too low, you need to eat sugar or carbohydrates to bring it back up to where you want it. Some symptoms when my blood sugar is low are being hungry or being very tired, I feel lightheaded sometimes. When it's too high, you need insulin. If it's really high, I can get a fever or I can get sick.
It's real responsibility. It really is, because you gotta remember when you gotta eat, you gotta remember when you gotta do your shot, you gotta remember when you do your test, all that stuff you have to remember.
Now, being on the pump, we no longer have to watch the clock for the next meal, whereas before we had to time every meal. Approximately every 2 hours he had to eat.
Now that I'm on the pump, I can eat things I couldn't eat on shots. Everyone else could like eat Fruit Loops and Pop-Tarts, all sorts of junky stuff, while I'm busy eating just shredded wheat and all other healthy stuff.
Well, all of the cereals that are in the stores are just way too high in sugar for diabetics to have.
I'm asking the cereal companies to produce more kid-oriented, sugar-free cereals.
My campaign is basically just about trying to get the cereal companies to make a sugar-free, kid-oriented cereals for diabetics like myself. The only ones they do have that are low in sugar are targeted mainly at adults.
If you want to, you can sign it.
Eventually, when I have hopefully about 5,000 signatures, I'll send them into the main cereal companies and see what they think. I'm going to keep at it until I'm heard.
I think for the benefit of children all over the world, cereals should have less sugar and less garbage in them.
I got a lot of friends just like anybody else would, and we do the same things.
You can still play sports, swim, play Nintendo.
I can mostly do anything a normal kid can do, except eat stuff with sugar. That's the only thing. I feel like a normal kid.